Good morning. My mom and I are here at the Lumpy Ridge Trailhead, and this is considered part of Rocky Mountain National Park. There are only 5 other cars here right now. However, there are going to be a lot more by the time we get done with this hike. And today, we're going to go for Gem Lake. Should be a pretty easy hike. I think it's right around 2 miles out, with over a 1,000 foot elevation gain. I think, I'm not sure. It's something like that. And check this new thing out. Rocky Mountain National Park is serious about getting their money. They got this automatic little machine here where you can pay to get your entrance pass. Official start time, 6:15. Lots of steps on this hike. The whole thing is pretty much just one uphill grind. And I think we're heading up there somewhere. On that last hike that we did up to the summit of Eagle Cliff Mountain, we found a total of 4 ticks after the hike. I found one crawling across my floor, and then my mom found 3 in the bathtub. So it's definitely tick season. And the thing is you can either hike below 9,000 vertical feet and run the risk of picking up ticks, or you can hike above 9,000 vertical feet and hike through the snow. Pick your poison. So today we decided to hike a little lower, but this should be a pretty good trail. It's nice and wide. We're not rubbing up against any grass or anything, so we should be good to go. And after 20 minutes of hiking, we're up here to the trail split. And this left will take you over in the direction of Twin Owls. And we might go back down that way. I'm not sure. We're gonna feel it out, see how crowded this trail is. Beautiful day today, which is a real nice surprise, because down at Fort Collins it is socked in with clouds. It's real rainy down there. However, once we broke through Drake on the way up 34 and passed by the Glenhaven cutoff, it got super nice and clear. I'd say we're about 40% up to Gem Lake, and we have graduated from wood steps to stone steps. And there's some big ones up here too. And we've made it up here to the nice overlook that looks down onto Estes Park. And there are a few little cloud remnants right there, but it was much worse when we drove in. I'm going to say that this is roughly halfway up. After you pass the Estes Park overlook, the trail does flatten out there for a little bit, which is a nice little break from going straight up. However, right here towards the end, this thing launches. And we're getting real close to Paul Bunyan's boot up here. And in 55 minutes, we've made it up here to Paul Bunyan's boot. And this thing is called Paul Bunyan's boot. However, being that it's the year 2025, that offends me. So I think we need to rename it. How about Paul Bunyan's bunion? Because you can kind of see it like sticking out right there. Ouch. We're picking up the sunflower seed shells which is a clear indication that this is a beginner trail. I wouldn't really say it's a beginner trail, but it definitely attracts a lot of people because it's easy to get to. The stats aren't that bad on paper, so you're going to get a ton of newbie hikers on this trail, which is evident because they have zero trail etiquette, and they also like to carve their names and initials into the trees. I can't even fathom the lack of brain cells one would have to think it's okay to carve their name or initials into one of the trees up here. That is just completely stupid. It's like bringing up your big bag of McDonald's, stuffing your face with your Big Mac, and then just throwing your bag off the side of the trail. Actually, I'd say that that's not as bad because the bag can be picked up, but you can't erase these people's idiotic names off the trees. They're going to be there forever. So stupid. Anybody that does that, you're stupid. Once you pass by Paul Bunyan's boot, you're almost there. I'd say we're 90% up the trail. However, there's a lot of elevation gain here at the very end. The isobars are crammed together. We're starting to hit these big old steps here towards the end. Do a little high stepping. Hooey. Hooey. Like, dude, can't you hike without doing the hooeys? Nope. That helps. Hooey. And we're getting close because Gem Lake is tucked up right in there. And there's also a privy up here, aka a toilet. So if you gotta go, just hold it. Try and make it up here. Don't pinch a loaf off the side of the trail. Nobody wants to see or smell that. When you hit this melted looking wall right here, you're almost up to the lake. Super duper close. Just a few more little twists and turns, and then you're there. And just past the melted wall is the privy, which is right out there. And the lake conditions up here should be ideal. Gem Lake should be full of water, and all the grass around it should be nice and green. Almost there. Yeah, I can't say that I've ever seen water running down right here. So that lake is going to be full. All right, it's just now 7:30. So that took us an hour and 15 minutes to get up here. Gem Lake, baby. And there it is, Gem Lake. Yeah, and that thing is full of water. I think we might have this entire place to ourselves right now, which is rare. There are usually a bunch of people up here. And the trail continues on right through there, and you can drop it down and take it over to Balanced Rock. And that's a pretty solid hike to go out to Balanced Rock and come back, because you got to go downhill to get to it and then back uphill to get back up here to Gem Lake. And like I said, we got this whole place to ourselves right now. That is awesome. It is usually like Disneyland up here. People everywhere. And for good reason. I mean, it's a beautiful little lake. It's a gem. And since there's no one else up here, we're gonna take it on over to the other side to boil up our tea and eat our cheesy smiles and cinnamon chip churro strips. Yeah, we can find a good spot over here somewhere, right alongside the water. Oh, just ran right into that rock and my shoulder popped. And this is going to be the view from our spot. It's about 8:15 right now, and we've been sitting up here at Gem Lake for about 45 minutes or so. But it's time to go. It's time to head on back. All right, let's do it. Let's take it on back. And I'm thinking that this should take 45 minutes to an hour to get down. I guess it depends which way we decide to go down. If we take it straight down the way that we came up, it should take like 45 to an hour. However, if we add on that extra part that goes over by Twin Owls, it's going to take a little longer. And we've made it back down to the Estes Park Overlook. That's what I named it. So this is about halfway back. And we're seeing a bunch of people coming up this trail now. No joke, I bet 40 to 50 people have come up this trail. And after 45 minutes, we've dropped it down here to the trail split. We have decided that we're gonna take the long way around. We're gonna avoid the crowds. And this is actually really scenic through here too. Going this way is gonna add a little bit of elevation gain on the way back. We're gonna have to drop it down and then take it back up and over the ridge. But it's not too bad. I think we might be adding maybe a couple hundred extra feet. We're gonna get some better views going this way. However, this is like major tick zone right here. This is tick mania. They love these south-facing sunny slopes with lots of grass. So we're gonna have to be real careful, stay right in the middle of the trail, and hopefully we don't pick any up. But yeah, I guarantee if we went 10 feet off this trail, we'd probably get one. Epic views along here though. You can't beat this. There are no views quite like this coming down the standard Gem Lake Trail. And just an FYI, it looks like from February 15th to July 31st, the Twin Owls, the upper and lower parts are closed, Rock 1, and the roosting ramp. Those are all closed. And on the way down, did we hear people up there? Sure did. Do you think they care about the closure? Probably not. I cannot stand people sometimes. All right, and we have merged back with where the Black Canyon Trail begins. We're gonna hang a left and take it back to the Lumpy Ridge trailhead and parking area. And like I was saying earlier, we are gonna get a little bit of uphill through here. The incline back to this point has been very minor, hardly noticeable. However, we do have to take it up and over the steps here. And then the parking lot is just on the other side. And we've made it up and over, dropping it down onto the parking lot here. It's just now 9:35 and we're back. Lumpy Ridge Trailhead. So that took us about an hour and 20 minutes to come down the long way, which isn't too bad. All right, Gem Lake bonus loop. Got it. Well, we hope you enjoyed that hike. And until the next one, y'all, peace.